And we exist on the
Hello,
internet. Hello,
and we
everybody.
brought someone with
We
us this
have we
time.
have a house guest.
Hello, hello everyone. Hey, glad to have be on the show. My name is Desmond, also known as No Sleep Creative.
And there he is. He's already
Incredible.
going for the intro.
He's just
Oh
jumping
yeah,
into it.
yeah, yeah,
Incredible. Only
Man,
the best guests.
man is
yeah.
a
I should
professional.
I should use my I should use my stage voice. Like I always do. Like, hey, Desmond, here from No Sleep Creative.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we got a
Whoa.
live intro. That's
Whoa.
incredible.
yeah. I have to actively all right, perform.
Wow, just completely changed your voice like that.
I love that.
Exactly.
Dude, we had, I think it was, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, where my voice was just completely shot like the whole week. So, but it inadvertently gave me this like very silky
Deep voice.
announcer voice. Yes.
Oh, very very nice.
We
yeah.
got some people showing up in the chat. What up, Nick, Amiri? How you doing,
Hello
Vinicius?
from
Glad to see
Ukraine.
ya.
What's up?
Louise.
What's happening, y'all?
Well, hopefully
Well,
plenty.
shoot.
Shall we
I
just
think that
hop on
let's
in?
just jump on into it. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good plan. Let's do that. We've got a couple
off-
different things we want to chat through today. First of all,
True,
being
right?
how the heck did you get here, Desmond? Who let
Oh.
you?
Who even are you,
Who
man?
let you in? And
let you-
how did you get here?
How did I get here? Very, very good question, guys. Well, so I met Team Ravi at this event called Commotion Event. Yeah, at the Commotion Event like 2 weeks ago. That's that was not too long ago. It was the first time meeting.
First time, yeah.
Yeah, we met actually 2 years ago, and Ravi gave me a portfolio review, and yeah, we just talk and chat and hang out. But it was like 2 weeks ago we finally met, and then they're bringing the same energy as you see on social media, so it was kind of refreshing, very very youthful, energetic. It's like, oh wow, and then at one point,
Consistent.
I know. So it's really great to have them, meet them. And Noah just invited me on a show, saying like, "Yo, let's get on a show. Just tell us what time. 9 a.m. EST Wednesday. Let's go." And I'm like, "You're on," and here we are on the show.
That's beautiful. Now I want to know more about how did everyone always has the strangest way that they get into motion design because it's not usually a very direct thing. It's kind of in between graphic design and animation, kind of a new field. Everyone always has such a strange, interesting way of getting into it. How did you find it? Where'd you learn of such a thing?
Well, it's a very long journey. So I guess maybe I'll do like a brief, long history of how my journey began. So I'm from Singapore, and then my digital media journey began when I was in 2010. I did a diploma in visual effects and motion graphics at Singapore Polytechnic. That's that back then. That field was pioneering. It was like I was the first batch of that course, so it was like kind of, I wouldn't say it was just everything was new. Everyone was testing things out, right? So that the next few generation kind of
Right.
focus more towards motion graphics. So at that point, I like visual effects. I thought like maybe I could do visual effects for films, for feature films, short films, whatsoever. And then, but at the end of my diploma, I felt like that wasn't it. I didn't really want to do visual effects. There was a emphasis on motion. There was motion graphics too, but not as much as the film or the graphic design stuff.
Right.
And then and then I started to work as some sort of visual effects artist after graduation at this local production studio. And at that point, I also didn't like where I was. Decided to just take a break, and then because I had to serve the army for 2 years in Singapore, it's mandatory to serve 2 years of army, and if not, you go to jail. And once you serve your jail term, you go back to the army to finish your 2 years.
So you're going
Isn't
into
it?
the army regardless.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way out. There's no excuse. People have escaped the country,
Oh, geez.
to skip the army.
Yeah.
And so, but it is during the army where I had time for myself. It's that 2 years time where you start to, kind of don't think about life for a bit. Don't worry about future. Don't worry about career. And I did that, and slowly I had opportunity to do motion graphics in, I guess, my second of year of army, and say, hey, this is pretty fun, getting back into After Effects. And then that's when I realized that, hey, I like motion design, I like motion graphics, maybe I should pursue this in higher education. So after I finished the army, I decided to apply for a local university, which I got rejected from actually. Got rejected from two. I was very disheartened, but then so I decided to apply for a job in the meantime, and I got into this visual effects company called Double Negative. It was nice and all, but their recent merger, because of their recent merger, around the time I was hired, they also closed down the Singapore branch, and then after that I was laid off, and I was like, okay. Not only was I rejected from like university, I lost my job, and at the time I also broke up with the girl I was dating.
Oh,
at the
pits of
time.
despair, man. That
Oh
sucks.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Origin story for real.
and I was like, it's like, what the hell, man? Life. It's
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
I don't think it get any worse. So, but that's when actually I had the opportunity to go to SCAD. SCAD actually reached out to me for like, hey, would you like to, apply to SCAD? Go through the because I already applied for SCAD, I got half scholarship, but that was not enough.
Right.
Shortly after I got laid off, they told me like, hey, would you be interested in to kind of come for the interview again and appeal for more scholarship? And I say yes. I have no expectation because I already lost everything. I'm like, I'm just gonna go because I'm free.
Yeah.
And then I just put my best foot forward. I was prepared, my portfolio, I resume, business card, all that stuff. And long story short, the next day I was awarded a full scholarship. I was like, wow, what the hell? Unbelievable. Like my life turned around. Then I did 3 years of SCAD BFA before work, and then after I graduated to Warner Media Studios Atlanta. I worked there for like 14 months. And then the pandemic happened in between. Applied for graduate school, got in, somehow got a full scholarship again, and now I'm out. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow. Found motion through the army.
I
Then
guess
into the
so.
pits of despair. Oh man.
Bounce straight back. That's nuts, man.
There's so much to
Yeah.
pick apart there.
Especially like rejected 2 times. You
I
have a
know.
little bit of an Einstein story you got going on there. Like, he wasn't smart enough, and then he became like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think you went for higher education when you found motion design? You're like, this is very cool. You left the army. Why do you think you went for more higher education as opposed to just sort of jumping into it like some do?
Right. So, several reasons. First of all, is like because of my family. My parents has always told me the importance of like getting a degree. Right. It doesn't matter what degree, but as long as I have some sort of BFA undergraduate degree, I should able to lead a more successful life in the future. They were planning for me in the long term. And in the most recent conversation with my mother, she told me that she has never explained why about the degree part, but then she told me that she noticed as in Singapore that people are qualified with all the expertise, maybe years of experience, but the government or maybe some organization look at the credential more so than the portfolio stuff. And this is something common in Asia, I believe, where especially when you're getting enrolled into university. I got rejected of the local university because I didn't do the GCA A levels. Apparently, if you go to junior college and have an A level certification, you're more qualified to go to university than someone who came out of a vocational diploma and it's already have a portfolio in a relevant field. They prioritize the smart people.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So they hold
Yeah.
that credential, like that very specific credential, to a very high esteem, regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I still have one more reason though, besides my societal conditions.
Pressures.
Well, yeah, but because around that time, after I graduate or finish the army, I'm like, there's not as big of a motion graphic or design scene in Singapore, so I didn't have the resources, nor do I have the network. I had limited like connections, so I thought like. And I feel like I didn't know a lot of things. I was good at After Effects, but I just felt like I need to go to be in an environment where I can learn, I can be creative, and experience life as well, rather than working hard
I see.
and just going to work. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you probably made the right choice then.
I think so
And that's
too.
crazy. Scad was like, here, have a full ride, even after.
Yeah, they're like, you got rejected from 2 schools, but just come here instead. We just want you here. It's fine.
Yeah,
No worries.
yeah.
That's
I know.
cool.
It honestly changed my life, like for in so many ways. Like most of my successes, stem from that one moment where the interviewer David Pune, I'm still in contact with him to this day. He believed in me and the value I have to offer, and 7 years later,
He was right.
yeah,
Dare I
yeah.
say.
I would say so. And I mean, if you were looking for just connections and those sorts of things, when you were feeling like it's still this very pioneering industry, I think you really, really got the best option you could have had to have SCAD reach out, because I mean, thinking about it now, I feel like there are so many resources online. I mean, you've got your channel, there's so many people on YouTube, and there's courses online all over the place. Lots of people can learn and get better connected online now, I think. But I think you're totally right that even 7 years ago, I mean, it would have been much, much harder to meet people, because with the amount of studios there are now, our industry feels big, but like we know how small and interconnected it actually is now. I can't even imagine how small it was 7 years ago. It was probably just like a handful of shops that were kind of just passing the same people around, and you had to like really hope that you got in that niche group. Otherwise, it was like you're kind of just outside the fence looking at all the kids play on the playground and having a good time, and you're like, how can I get on the team, please? Someone
Yeah.
bring me in.
For sure. Like, technology, as technology improved, or social media like became a boom, right? It became easier to connect, and sometimes it crossed like geographic boundaries. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, right? What
Right.
country you're from, as long as you can do the work. All right, let's go.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now, you said there wasn't really that big of a motion design scene in Singapore. Do you think that's different now? Because I feel like I get recommendations from motion designers in Asia on YouTube and social media all the time. I feel like they're just popping up all the time. And I feel like a lot of advertising over there does fit motion pretty well, but I don't know. You're probably more plugged into that scene than I am a little bit.
Actually, not really, because my opinion, I sometimes maybe I need to do more research. It's just that I don't know. Just going back to my country, I just sense it. I don't even need to do research. Just
Yeah.
feel like something's not right here. But there are prominent motion design studios. I think most called Offset in Singapore. I think everyone. I'm sure there's talented folk out there. There's great studios, but I can't really gauge like how's the creative economy, how is it going in Singapore. I do know I've done some research that okay, it's the thing I say that I guess my opinion on Singapore and the motion design scene there, it relates to the creative economy industry, right? Because I guess
Right.
motion graphics is part of the creative economy. And in my research for my MFA thesis, I learned that for you to succeed as an artist and designer, you have to produce like empirical outcomes, and often this is based on profits. Singapore, there was this journal article that talks about like how Singapore has a bureaucratic imagination of creativity. Creativity is some sort of commodity to sell to clients or like advertising. It's not really so much about innovation, originality, or creativity itself, or expressive
Right.
or aesthetic purpose. It's really just a money-making tool
I see.
based on the research I've read. So I can see how I think that flows down. The government mentality flows down to the studios, organization, to the artists, to the students, to the education. Yeah.
I think we'll start to see more of that commoditization appear. I mean, I was having a conversation with the team yesterday. Did you see the new Adobe Firefly
Oh,
news
not
from
yet.
yesterday? It's effectively Adobe is hopping in on the AI image generation. And so, we saw a demo yesterday where you could essentially have a couple sketches in Illustrator, right? And then you highlight to tell the AI where to look, and then say, give me vector versions. Give me like 4 vector versions of this sketch, and it'll just generate like 4 versions of that logo sketch, you know? And I think that's really going to widen the group of people that are already just like pumping out templates and those sorts of things. I feel like it's just going to be so much easier for people to just happen and be like, well, design's just another thing I can sell now. You know, it's going to almost kind of be like drop shipping, I think. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch develop. I think that's just
becomes like a factory.
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah.
Just churning out stuff. And yeah, it's scary. I'm thinking about like how this will affect the aspiring designer and artists who are entering the field, and then there's all these AI tools, but then there's After Effects.
Yeah.
Right. It's like me, you know.
Do you think
it's much like lower barrier for entry there? I wonder if people are gonna kind of stray towards that and
they just won't learn.
Get in the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe it'll speed things up. Honestly, it could be an optimism path there too.
Yeah, for sure. I was joking to my friends that I guess in the future there'll be like a diploma for prompt writing.
Dude, I'm already seeing like job posts for prompt writers at some of these big firms. They're like $200,000-$300,000 salary, and I'm like, what? Okay, I mean, I guess somebody has to try this out, but what? Like that seems crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I have just a quick personal curiosity of what was the difference between your undergrad and your master's?
Okay, so
SCAD. Like what was the real learning opportunity difference there?
Okay, so the quick summary of like the difference is that in the undergraduate you try to it's more skill based. You learn more about software, or like there's more execution. Right, that's
right. Okay,
and yeah, so you come out of the program pretty strong, and I don't know, After Effects, Cinema 4D, or like just having good design or good animation ready to get you a job. Whereas you go to MFA, you already, since you have work experience. Well, hopefully you have work experience in between, right? So you're coming prepared, so you know what you're looking for. You kind of have more control of the education. You decide like, I'm interested in visual effects because this will help me in my journey to become a technical artist or technical director in the future. You start to think about like, you're very intentional with like the classes you take and how it prepares you for long-term success.
I see.
And then there's a part to the MFA is that where you do like the MFA thesis. So you have to produce like you have to research and then produce a visual project based on your research. The idea of the MFA is to create new knowledge, right, as scholars. And I spent 1 year doing that, reading and writing. So it kind of changes how you see the world, like in this process of like reading and writing. But you don't get to do a lot of creative stuff because you're so focused. You see the world, you see like how media, right, motion graphics influence society, influence perception, sometimes for the best, sometimes not for the best.
Well, that sounds like a fascinating topic. Was there any specific concentration that you had in that whole world?
Yeah, so my thesis statement is isotype infographic animation employ realism to persuade viewers of factuality to manipulate their worldview, a particular worldview. So infographics are known to be like objective, neutral, right?
Right.
So when the readers see it, and it's meant to be educational, when the people see it, they don't think it's lying to you. But some infographic, right, the visuals and the messaging can be, skewed to create, to kind of create interpretation. And when you read the infographic, you just say, oh, of course, right, it's facts. You can't help but read an infographic as facts.
Right.
But then it's not facts. It's being, making claims of factuality. Yeah. And it is, I examine a historical motion graphics piece. It's called A Few Ounces a Day. It's a World War II propaganda. It's a British propaganda to kind of communicate to the citizen on how to to salvage more materials, metal, bones. Let's see what else was there, paper, right? Because these were essential resources for the UK to kind of keep fighting the war,
Right.
right? And this animation is all in icons, just icons animation, and there's the pictorial statistic to kind of validate the claims of like why recycling is important. Okay, but the thing is that you watch the trick is that when you watch infographic, you watch it and you be like, oh, cool, that was cool, right?
Right.
But you didn't consider that what you saw was a representation of World War II, right? You didn't consider that. So they give you a sanitized representation of the war by through icons and sound effects to make it humorous. Like in the beginning of the scene, where there is a icon of a boat just going from America, to UK, right? One of the ship blows up and there's a symbol crash, and the narrator goes crash of a torpedo. So it's a very simple, like a pun. All right, and
Yeah.
puns was like a humor thing for the British. So you'll laugh, maybe like, ha ha ha, this is funny, this is long, funny, kind of a little bit boring. But then you think about that, a ship blowing up by the Nazi, it's not funny at all.
Well, yeah.
Right? Hundreds of people just die on that ship. Resources was lost on that ship. But yet, when people watch the animation, they did not. I mean, the viewers back then, maybe they see the propaganda, but maybe they don't because they were so focused on the entertainment value of this infographic animation, and also it's justified with the statistics. So yeah, and there's a lot I can talk about my thesis. So I don't want to take up all
No.
time.
I mean, that's
very
super interesting, and it makes a lot of sense because I know that. I mean, if I just think of the average person, if there's some sort of opinion that they disagree with, right? Then if it's like talking heads on a news show, they're more, and if they say something outlandish or whatever to this person, they're probably gonna be like, I disagree with that. That can't be true. That's not right. And it's so much easier to like attack those words, or if it's written or something. But if you're seeing some sort of set of graphs or whatever, regardless of if the information is actually realistic or not, people will be more willing to take that, I guess, because it feels like this neutral third party. It's like, well, here's the data. I don't really know what else to tell you, I'm just presenting it. And it sort of removes like the ability to attack like the personal ego of the person who is either like writing or speaking that opinion otherwise. But for whatever reason, when it's made in this pretty little graphic with a bow on top, then people are more willing to take that information. That's really fascinating.
Exactly, you got it.
Oh my God, Austin,
cool.
you should do a master.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, I think we've heard this thesis before, and be like, no. This is, I swear,
All new.
it's all new. Look, here are my graphs on how new it is. I'm just
I made
presenting. it.
ChatGPT, right? I mean, I wrote it all myself.
Yeah.
We're on to like GPT-6 at that point. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Six of them.
By the time
Now-
Austin gets around to doing a master.
Now we do have some people hanging in the chat. What up, Mervin, Valve, Motion Crits? Glad to see you. Now we have an interesting question, which I also would like to ask you. Bawa Self says, "Hey Desmond, when will you start uploading?" ?
Yeah, I knew someone was gonna ask me that. Yeah, I took a break. I think 2 years ago when I got busy with my schoolwork, and especially like working on a commotion branding team. But I have plans to resume uploading some content onto my YouTube channel. It's just that I think right now I'm in the midst of interviewing like with some companies. Because I actually completed my studies. I'm not sure if I mentioned just now. I completed my MFA studies last week. I'm done finally.
Congratulations.
Okay.
He's
Thank you,
out.
That's
thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Watch
so,
out, world.
So I'm in the midst of like interviewing with some companies right now. This week has been a bit hectic, despite having graduated already. I just talking to lots of companies, catching up with a lot of friends, and always I'm just saying the same thing to different people. But yeah, once I got that sorted out, and then I think we'll see some tutorials
I mean,
or some
hey,
videos.
Hey man, I
Ooh.
could totally see that being a very valuable thing to provide during an interview as well. There's so many studios that are completely lacking on the content side. So I'm just saying, could be a
That's
valuable
true.
asset. I don't know.
They do be jealous.
It's definitely a bonus. They do like the fact that when I speak to companies, like, yeah, you have a YouTube channel. I watched it.
Yeah.
I learned something. I think it's very nice when they say, I watched your tutorial and I learned something. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Thank you. I
Now,
mean,
you
I
know.
will be the first one to admit, maybe the last one to admit, that I did use that wave tutorial on a project.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
this is actually kind of helpful.
How does it feel
That's
to have that in like everybody's reel or something? I feel like 80% of the reels we had submitted for when we were looking for motion designers were like, I can see Desmond's tutorial right there. Like, come on, it's right there,
yeah.
man.
It's nice. At first, when I first made a tutorial, and people was using it, it's like, oh, that's cool, right? And then it became like a thing, a trend, like where you see it in a reel. I see it all the time. I even see it in commercial work.
Yeah.
Like there was this Fujitsu Japan, and there was a corporate video, and there was like the wave warp thing. I was like, wait, that's from my tutorial, right?
It's like, I see
You
your
know?
wave warp. I see you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm happy that that the video got everyone's attention. They liked the style, whatever. But sometimes I think to myself, like, what have I done? You know?
Like, I'm sorry, motion design industry. I didn't mean to do this to you.
Yeah. And at that point, that was the first tutorial I feel like that made me more notable
Yeah.
because I just got a little bit, spend more time into that tutorial thinking like, all right, let me just match it real close. All right. Then I'm like, let me dissect it so that everyone can understand. And I posted with no expectation. I mean, I felt proud of what I've made, but
Yeah.
I didn't think like people will like it so much to this point. It's actually one of my most successful video with the highest view.
Do you find now when I was making the loops last year every week, I often found that the ones that I was proud of all the ones that I put out, but the ones that I was like, take it or leave it, did the best. Like the ones
Yeah.
that I didn't put all that pressure on always did better. Did you ever find that was a similar situation?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I was just talking to a company yesterday. We're talking about the wavy trails, or just the trails like tutorial.
Yeah.
There's a smiley face. Yeah, yeah. So that came out because I couldn't sleep one night. At one point I had this idea, like, hey, what if I write this expression on the shape layer
Yeah, yeah.
to draw the points based on the position of the before the based on the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was sleeping at night, and then I couldn't sleep just because I was thinking about it so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to get up now to just like test out After Effects. And I did, and I wrote it, and I was like, wow. I spent like 30 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
It worked. It's like, cool. All right, let me go to sleep. And then I decided to just make a tutorial of that, and some people like it. I think that people like it because you don't have to rely on any third party too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
in particular. Yeah.
That makes sense. Dude, the best ideas are the ones that are that exact situation where it's late at night and you're just like, well, this idea is not leaving, so I gotta go make it happen, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
The ones that
exactly.
stick with you.
I know.
Kind of out of pocket ones, honestly.
We've also
I
got
know.
oh sorry.
go ahead.
We got
No,
a lot
no.
of people talking
Sure.
about your Domestica course.
Yes, that's what I was going to
awesome.
transition
Lots of
into.
praise. We did have somebody ask a question about it though. I was literally going to buy your course on Domestica and wanted to ask you if your advanced code course for AE fits people with zero experience in JavaScript. That's from Sela Hamza.
Okay. Well, thank you all for the support for the course. The course is set up in a way whereby you don't need to have JavaScript training or background or any coding background. Prior to taking the course, you can just take it. But hopefully you have some knowledge of After Effects, because I've spoken to, I guess, students who's like they're so new to After Effects, right? It's like maybe they have opened it less than 10 times. And
Yeah.
like, I want to take this course. It's like, whoa,
It's
slow
like,
down.
hold on.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I have some people. I think it's manageable. I think you just need to watch through the content, watch through the videos many times and practice. because it's not like you watch it once and you get it. You know, it's learning is not linear. So there will be effort on your part. I try my best. I try my very best to to record the tutorials for Domestika, and also to provide the documentation to aid your learning along the resources. I'm always very hard on myself, like, oh my God, is the course really good? You know, it's like I'm worried because I want to give everyone like the best experience. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead, take the course. I think everyone will get something out of it. Oh, and you can use my link,
Boom. Yeah, let
my
me
affiliate
link.
links, so you get a discount. Yeah.
let me grab that.
Take that course. And that course, when did you record that course?
So the course was actually recorded around this time. Actually, this is at a time last year. This time I was in Madrid, Spain. So what happened was that in 2021, late 2021, a recruiter came up to me and asked me if I was interested to do the course, right? To make a course, and they'll cover they'll fly me down to their studio. I have the choice of selecting New York, or Madrid, Spain, and they'll cover the flight and accommodation.
So you're gonna
And
choose Madrid, Spain.
yeah, obviously, as I have sign me up. You know,
I'm there.
I was so mind blown. I think that when I got the email, I had a moment of like panic. I was like, my God, it has happened. You know, I got an offer to do some sort of online course. It was very exciting. So I agree, and yeah, obviously going Madrid, Spain, and then we spent like few months, just I think the next few months before I fly to Madrid, Spain, to plan out the course. Right, it's broken into several phases. So in the first part, you work with like the I guess course manager. You produce like a proposal, a pretty simple proposal of what you intend to teach or accomplish, or for students to accomplish in this course. After that, once they
What was
approve,
that? Can I ask? What you set out to teach specifically?
it was mostly like the expression stuff, right?
Okay.
So I wanted basically what you see the final course it's based on like the proposal and the outline. Things shift along the way, but the emphasis has always they did ask me like, what do you want to teach, right? I have a lot of autonomy as a teacher. They trust the people they work with, or like they recruit. So
That's good.
yeah, we produced the course. I produced the course proposal, got approved, and we did a course outline. That's where you get assigned a producer who work with you for many weeks or months, depending on how long you take. Because again, Domestika understand that this is done on your own free time, because we have other obligations such as our day job or being a student. So they were respectful too. They're not like whipping you and say, all right, give me that course now. Yeah, I did like weekly or bi-weekly check-in with my producers. It felt like a creative process where all right, this is the mood board, this is the style frame, this is the motion test, this is the rough cut, this is the final cut. All right. Along the way, I would document the stuff that I would need to teach. It's kind of like I have to do it two things at once. I need to have an exciting project, but also kind of scale it down so that the students taking my course can accomplish it, right?
Right.
So there's some stuff, I made it easier, and I felt like could be better, but if I were to teach it, it would take forever. So you have to manage your expectation there. Once you finish the final project, you can start. Then I start recording the screencast tutorials where I teach people how to write expression, basically what you see in the course, right? And preferably they would like you to finish your screencast tutorial recording before flying to their studio in Madrid, Spain, because they just when I was in Madrid, Spain, we are mostly just filming the intro and outros. So I'll be looking at camera and say, all right, in this course, in this lesson, you're gonna learn this. Yeah, and then I'll look at. I always miss the cue to look at the laptop. I would say, all right, in this class, you will learn how to do this, right? And then after that,
You
I'll
just keep
pause.
looking at the camera.
Yeah, I'll keep looking at the camera, and then my producer, who's like on the other side, just
He's like, come on,
and
just look.
and it's like, oh shit! So we are like multiple takes, right? Because I forgot to just say to look at the laptop, or like say something. Oh, let's get on with it,
Oh man.
and then for the outro, I need to look at the laptop first, and then come back look at the camera. Yeah. For all the videos, I'm like, oh my god. It's like, thank God I didn't produce like so many lessons.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, all that is absolutely banging. Would you like to crit some work?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Ooh yeah. All right.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm putting on
Check out Desmond's course,
the
by the way.
sunglasses. Yes, please do check out Desmond's course. This man shan't lie. It's a good experience. Everyone will have a great time and be expression wizards. I know for one, I am terrified of expressions. So
yeah. So sign me up.
Sign me up.
Oh, his sunglasses. Like, yeah, sign up.
Got the sunglasses. Got to do it.
Yeah. My second layer of glasses.
Of course. He's double glassed up, y'all.
Yeah.
Watch out for this man.
All right, screen share working for y'all. Should be able to see this eyeball on my screen.
Let's see.
On Discord, it should be for you guys.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Fabulous, and chat should be able to see it also now. Great. Well, first of all,
treating you.
it's treating me pretty great, man. I'm having a wonderful time. Although we did just get a message in the chat, which I think is hilarious. Roland says, not intending to steal Desmond's thunder. Ready for your thunder to be stolen? Here it is. But I wrote the very first After Effects expression tutorial. It was for Creative Cow, and it was circa back in 2002 to 2004. Whoa. And you guessed it, it was the wiggle method. We got an OG in the chat right now.
Oh,
right? Now,
damn.
This guy's been around the block.
I don't want to steal Roland's thunder, but I was born in 2001, so I couldn't watch the tutorial yet because I was in fact a child. So sorry. I'll take a look at it though. I'll finally learn wiggle. It'll be a great time.
Please send that to us. I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
I don't even know what the hell this wiggle thing is all about.
What the heck's that wiggle thing?
How do you even open the expression editor? I've heard so much about it, but I don't know what it is.
All right. Now this crit is coming in from Valve Visuals on Twitter. The main concern that he has with this is a story coming through? Does it make sense story-wise? There is no sound from what I can tell. So here we go. We'll just play a couple times.
Okay, we got an eye.
Eyeball. He's looking around. He
taps it.
Deleted that cube. Oh, that one's... Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, let's try and dissect this, shall we?
He doesn't like cubes.
He doesn't like cubes, but he missed the cubes that were over there, you know? He was too focused on that.
Right at him. I'm curious why it's windy in there, just for a second.
You know,
I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't come up with anything for it.
I like the little bit of smear on the iris.
And
that's not the right part of it. The pupil. There it is.
Yes. I guess the main thing I wish that it blinked or did something, especially in terms of just like more eyeball movement. When it slides over here, you already had that dynamic movement of the people looking around, you know? So to then just have it kind of be static and slide over feels a little odd. That was my main thing. Story-wise, though, it does make me laugh when it has that final transition. Like I think I get the gist of it's like, okay, I want to get that one out of here, but then it's like, oh no, there's still more. Again, but I think that it would be sold better if those sort of like floated in afterwards, like if it wasn't already popped up here, because the fact that it already like looked over at it makes me wonder why it's surprised that it's there. Here, you know.
Desmond, do you get in a story here?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You gotta kind of watch it several times. I guess it's like you say, it's like this eyeball doesn't like the cubes. But I think we need to exaggerate that a little bit. It's because it's like there's only 3 cubes right throughout this whole animation.
Right.
It doesn't really. Hopefully the story can kind of show that there is a lot of cubes. These cubes might signify like small little things in life that appears. A small inconveniences that happen in our life, right? And we rarely have 3 minor inconveniences in our life. Okay, we have like a dozen or probably hundreds. Some we see, some we don't. So that could be a way to kind of strengthen the narrative, right? Adding it, how does it relate to our life? Because I could, at first glance, I see this more as a playful animation just to exercise After Effects skills, because I have minimal context or background information on this animation, so I can sense, I don't know the narrative at all. But upon like your discussion, I realized like, oh, okay, cool. This is about like, this could be related to how how we spot inconvenience in our life, or like problems,
Right.
obstacle, and yeah, there just need to be more dramatization of this, of like this not rejection, but this like dislike for or push away,
Cues,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
like
cues.
the idea of exaggerating it. Maybe like it pushes away some, and then they come back on the other side, and it becomes overwhelmingly cubes.
Like
Yeah.
It freaks out.
imagine it pushes away
Yeah.
that one on the right, and it's the only one that's appeared there at first. Okay, you see that one, and then it like it looks over to the top left, and you're like, why is it looking over there? I don't understand. And the camera zooms out, and you see this like big giant field of like hundreds of cubes up at the top left that are like slowly coming down to like envelop the eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just as long as like some cubes are appearing, right? Because you see like this one cube disappear and then another one pops up. So that's good, but again, there's only 3 cubes. We should have like cubes are always popping up, perhaps in the background as secondary motion, and perhaps we can do a slow drift of the camera movement in Z space, so that the scene is not static. There's always there's some sort of visual interest, some motion, for our animation over here. But I see a lot of
background is pretty
potential.
static.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Val.
Boom.
Boom roasted.
Great.
Boom roasted.
It's a good rep.
Wonderful.
Good crit.
All right, shall we wreck it up, or do we want to? Is there? Well, first, somebody in the chat just said, "Desmond, you are the best teacher." So
Oh,
there you go,
you.
Desmond. It's
So,
you get the title. It's you. You're the best teacher ever.
I appreciate it.
Vinicius says the floor gives me familiar vibes because it's the same texture that games made with the source engine used when a model had missing textures.
Oh yeah.
True.
It's purple and checkered.
That's fun. I do like the overall like atmospheric glow going on here. It's a fun time. All right, rec time.
Oh, look, it says wiggling out the womb, destined to be a motion designer.
Yep, you're so right. That was actually my nickname, no, my band name in middle school. Wiggling out the womb. Yep, that was
I
me.
love that. Oh my god.
Anyway, all right.
Desmond,
Well,
do you play any instruments?
I don't. I only sing. Actually, I tried to learn ukulele for a while, but these days I mostly sing. I do vocal lessons, and I sing for fun.
God,
oh
this
sweet.
man's got layers.
Okay, shoot.
Code and sing.
Code and sing. Maybe I was just sing out my code.
That would be such a good video. Oh my,
that
that
would
would
be
be
so
really
good.
great. Like you,
First video back.
once you get the expression working or something, you have to sing it out instead.
So sing.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
so
okay.
people remember it.
Oh,
Like those little songs. You're like, I actually wrote a song.
It's
You
like-
pull out the ukulele.
It's like
But
the
it's
song.
fun.
It's like the periodic table song where they go through all the elements and stuff. Except you're just doing that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
After Effects tutorials. You're gonna become like
my
the
God.
making kids tutorials, but for adults who are trying to use After Effects. I think that would be.
oh my god.
Yes.
Really
now
fun
join in
niche.
if you know it. The wiggle expression goes
The
wiggle,
speed
wiggle,
graph
wiggle.
song.
Yeah, that's a great
Man,
idea.
why?
Motion Crit says,
Amplitude and velocity.
"Guess
I love it. I love it. Maybe I'll do
Karaoke
that
stream
one.
when I.
Yeah.
we got to do it
So
now.
true.
We got to do it now."
Karaoke stream
Yeah,
when.
I love karaoke.
That would be so fun.
We gotta do karaoke together then. Shit.
Motion Crit
Someone
says,
says, Desmond, do us here the goat. Welcome. Where have you been?
and also, guys, where do we submit an application to be roasted to? Link in the description. It's right next to critiquing your work in the show notes. There's a little Google form link.
We will
And
roast
we
you.
will boom roast you. It will just be
We will
another
boom
day.
roast you.
There you go. Also, the Discord link's down in the description. since Hizm just mentioned that too. But I want to get into Rex, okay? And I think I have one of my favorite Rex that I have ever seen. All right, it's easily like top 3 for me. So we're gonna start with that. Here it is. Just everybody, let's revel in this. Let's all
guys do this.
Let's all revel in this. This one is kind of a deep cut for me. One of my favorites from 2017. It's a hidden gem, and I just figured that you guys could use this as reference for your projects or something like that, you know?
Yeah, probably. So, and also inspiration of how you guys can grow as well.
Exactly. Like, this is how you do it.
Oh my god. I can't believe you guys dig that up.
Well,
I guess I do have it on social media.
It's true. It's true.
Is
this also from someone named Desmond? Really weird coincidence. I don't know.
That's just a coincidence. Oh my god.
But hey, just in case you're wondering, this is Daily Motion Media number 12. So I assume there's more, but this is my rec for today.
I actually have 2 recs today.
You got 2 to show? Is that?
I've got 2 to show.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and go on over to you. Let's do that. Are you screen sharing on Discord as well so that Desmond can see your recs?
I guess they don't really have sound, so.
No.
Yes, I'll make sure that I do that. Okay, there it is.
There is our next rec.
This one I really like.
I really enjoy this.
This one's very cool. I don't know how the hell you did this. I mean, how the hell whoever...
Who the heck did this thing?
Desmond did this. But honestly, the colors is delicious, man. I mean,
thank you.
Whoever did this.
It's real yum.
Whoever did this. Yeah.
And you know, Noah, you said you had one more, right?
Wait, I do. I gotta scroll down a little bit.
You didn't just have it pulled up.
Oh
no!
It's this one.
Yes!
Snake.
Yeah. You guys are terrible.
I love this one's probably my favorite. I like the thumbnail. Just kind of looks like a little penis there. I think that's great.
I had no idea what I was doing back then.
I
have no idea how you did this either.
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you. Is this
looking back, I can't even remember. I can't remember. I definitely wasn't using Cinema 4D. I was around that time I was just trying to get better at After Effects or just motion graphics. So I did this like daily motion stuff. And yeah, I don't know what I do to make that. Okay.
Honestly, big shout out to that. You actually daily motion.
Yeah. This one was
that's very cool.
That was a banger. It feels pretty epic. Banger.
But like I tried to do that kind of stuff, and I made it like 3 days. So shout out to you for doing stuff every single day for
like
a long time.
Hundreds of days. You did like 650 plus or something, I think.
Like sketches and stuff. It's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was that. It was actually, it started because I started drawing actually, because drawing has always been like my weakness, something I'm highly critical of myself. So when I had enrolled in SCAD, I was afraid that, oh my god, I'm going to fail my first class. So I told myself that I'm going to slowly get better at drawing. So I hit about 100 days when I first started SCAD, I believe.
Wow.
That gave me the confidence to kind of draw. But as I went, longer, once I finished the class, and I still carry on the practice, but there was this pressure, but also this, I don't know, when you start, you just can't stop. It took me a while to realize that sometimes working on daily projects isn't the best, especially if you're doing it randomly.
Yeah.
So I wish I was more informed about how do I strategize, like the daily creation, drawing, or like daily After Effects stuff. Yeah.
Fair point. I cannot draw for the life of me, so I am envious of your willingness to do that. Now
but go follow Desmond.
Follow Desmond.
Follow all of his shit.
I have one final rec for today, and now that we've gotten a little teaser of Desmond's prior work, I think that now we're ready to watch his new updated reel.
Oh, thank you.
Who's that? What?
Oh my god, that was
such a flex to be able to put yourself in that set at the end of that too. I
God
love it.
I know, right?
I love it.
Were some of those like title sequences stuff you did with Warner Media?
Yeah, I was. I worked at
Gotcha.
Warner. I did broadcast motion graphics, Warner Media
Yeah.
for brands like NBA and a lot of Turner Classic Movie.
Oh,
That's
that's
so
got to
cool.
be super fun. I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Damn.
Well,
That's
for
so
sure.
cool.
we've done our crits and we've done our recs, so I guess that means there's only time for one more section. What do you want to plug, Desmond? What's going on in your?
Actually, before we jump into that,
Whoa, okay, go ahead. What's up?
Desmond, let's get a little serious for a second.
Whoa.
If like you've been through the ringer, you've been rejected from places, you've been doing education for a long time, you've been doing social media, you've been YouTubing it up, you have a course, you did so much already, and you're still so dang spry and young. But if you could go back to that younger self of you before you even knew what motion design was, maybe you knew what motion design was and you were just looking for those being able to get into some university and pursue it, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would go on and tell that younger Desmond?
Younger Desmond, I say like, be curious. You know, it's like I feel like be curious about the world and especially about people. You know, I feel like in Singapore we have like when growing up, I grew up in Singapore. I feel like we have a stoic, pragmatic kind of society, right? It's like speak when spoken to, or like just follow orders. It can be like that, especially when you go to army. I felt I get to know my friends very well. I mean, I'm so close with them. I have a lot of best friends in Singapore that I always hang out with. But it is only as I mature and grow in the US, right? As like a designer and artist, I start to realize that I didn't know about my friends. So I go back home, I decided to just talk to them on a deeper level, ask them like, how's your life? You know, what's going on? What's your plan? You know, like what are you looking forward to? And I wish I had that sort of like mentality when I was younger to be curious about everyone, to ask them, to learn more about them, and also to learn about the world in the aspect of like maybe reading more books, engaging in different hobbies. For maybe I would prefer to kind of start my singing career. No, learn to have like maybe musical instrument as hobbies, or do something that adds value or flavor to my life, because you know, as much as we're very passionate of our craft in design and in motion graphics, sometimes I feel like it can dominate our whole life. And then, you know, when we get downtime, we just don't know what to do. And so as I slowly get stability in my career, I start to find ways to have fun. I always have difficulty answering people when they ask me, "What do you do for fun, Desmond? What do you do to relax?" I'm like, oh, right, anime.
Like,
right, I watch anime, and like, everyone's like, yeah, we know.
that's funny.
Yeah, so
That's some really good advice.
Yeah.
I feel like I've come to a similar conclusion recently. You gotta enjoy what you do. And oh my god, when people ask me, I'm like, man, all this stuff I do is fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
just
not gonna
have
be doing
fun.
stuff that's not fun.
yeah,
Be
Exactly.
curious about the world and the people in it.
yes,
Have fun
exactly.
exploring that curiosity.
Yeah, because it will lead you to places. If you're passionate and especially obsessed, right, about like something you're curious about, it can bring you to opportunities. It bring you to some connections. It will bring you to a tutorial that you never thought you make, or that actually becomes successful. So I feel like much of my success is because I was curious about something, and I was like hell bent on executing it or learning more about it.
That's beautiful. Well, Desmond brings us to about you're here wrapping up the show. Got anything to plug?
Any plugs?
Yeah.
Anything
Look,
to plug? Plug some
well,
stuff?
we already heard about our course, so you guys can use the link, right, to kind of buy the course. It helps me. That's what people always say when they offer their product. But the one thing I like to plug is to kind of share about one of all of my friends' work, if that's okay.
Sure.
That's so
on
sweet.
Instagram.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Yunho Park. So I think his profile is YH on Instagram. Let me see. Let me quickly pull it up. Yeah, you can go on Instagram and type in YHPark326. PARK.
PAR.
Okay, yeah, there you go, Yunho Park. Yeah, so Yunho was one of my schoolmates when we was doing our BFA together. Really talented back then, we're very well respected among the community, even as a student. And he's still, killing it, doing amazing motion design work. I think he's specializing in this like 2.5D kind of style. He even have a course on Colossal. And he's right now doing.
I remember
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
this on like Bucky Back and a bunch of other things a while ago.
Yeah. So,
Super cool.
he's right now is just doing some sort of mentorship program on this Notefolio thing. And yeah, I thought like everyone should take a look at his work. And I think he'll make a great guest for your next show.
Whoa. Okay, we gotta do it now. Come on, guest rec.
We gotta do it now.
That'd be a fun way.
Absolutely.
That'd be a fun way to do this. Pass it, double it, and pass it to the next person.
Pass it to the next person.
It's like
we just get 2 guests.
It's like the ice bucket challenge from however long ago. It's like, and I challenge so and so to do this, and I challenge so and so to do this.
We
We
absolutely
should do that.
Nominate Yunho Park. Right.
I love that.
Oh.
That'd be so
Beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, come on the show.
Let's do it. And that's the show.
Yeah.
And that's
There
the
it
show.
is.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for
Desmond,
joining
dude,
us and
for
hanging
joining us,
out.
sharing your knowledge and shit with us. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so fun. I'm so glad like we got to do this and just talk with everyone on your community. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Likewise.
Beautiful.
Well,
Well, thanks so much.
everybody check out Desmond. His website link is in the description. Also, the course link is in the chat as well. Be sure to check that out. In the meantime, if you want to get your work critiqued for Boom Roasting, down in the description as well. Discord link down there. Use hashtag DailyMotionShow on your social posts, and we just might wreck it. And that's it. We will see y'all tomorrow.